Born with a fire. Taking my unborn life the enemy conspired. Keeping me alive was the only thing my mother desired. A near fatal attempt with a knife to the womb had shaken my mama, left her in gloom. You, O Lord, you birthed me with fire. Who would have known I was such the crier? Small, dainty, and fair, my mom wouldn't have guessed I would be born with red hair. As I grew and grew, I continually witnessed my mom become black, become blue. A tomboy I was, I guess you'd say. I took all the boys gave, becoming stronger and braver day by day. I learned to slug or punch, kick and scream, biting or scratching, whatever need be. It was a fight to the finish, always in tears. I may have been small, but I was fierce. I defended my mom the best way I could, relentlessly and vigor as any child would. The worst was being locked behind a door, unable to help her. I could hear her screams, the hits she would take. Things all around would fall, they would break. Then the sound she made when she was slammed to the floor, I would scream, stop, stop, no more, no more. Can't count the nights we packed up and fled. In the middle of the night seeking shelter we sped. Each time and I'm sorry or never again. It was that easy for him. It's all it would take. She would be back with us and that mistake. My mom broke her promises time after time. Everything went silent and time stopped on a dime. The dreadful night I still vividly recall. He ordered for someone to draw him his gun. I knew my whole life this moment would come. I could no longer protect mama at all. Our lives were all done. Safe place, mad space. As fate had it, we somehow got away, not free of the images that stayed stuck on replay. Full of anger, resentment, and rage, my brother and I's life forever engraved. Fear instilled to the bottom of our core. Little did I know what our place of refuge still had in store. Things I've kept buried, blocked out. Maybe it's best this way. Maybe hidden from me for my own protection. Otherwise you would read it as I put my life out here on display. I wonder is one hell better than another? At this point in my life, all the love I once held stolen from me, and I had fully blamed my mother. We laid her dear mama to rest. How I remember always laying on her chest. I was her favorite, at least she would claim. She passed due to pneumonia and dementia to her brain. When a disease had spread, we lost her then, the first in my life to lose to an end. Mom took 2 jobs, one on days, one on nights. I was then 12. I was only alright. I stopped getting attention and hugs every night. I learned to fend for my own. Mom did her best with what she could. At that age, there was never a way I could have understood. She worked hard prior and cared for my mom. I was used to her absence. I tried to remember if it even affected me at all. My mother was both father and mom. For the one she said that I come from never did claim me. His presence was never shown. Abandonment and rejection were all that I had ever known. Mother worked hard to provide. For all the food in the house we had to divide. With all my cousins, drug-induced, strung-out friends. So let's just say the pickings were slim. I became the class clown, the goofball, the joker. Bet I would have done good with my game face and poker. I learned to hide trapped behind a smile. At least with my friends and their families, I could escape for a while. Physically and mentally abused, I was a shell and I was used. I turned to pot so I could escape. I remember that I loved to watch the glistening sun brim over the grain. I had no dream of a future, the thought I didn't entertain. When failed suicide attempt, I was still alive. The regret here for me was somehow I survived. How much I hated my life, I was deemed wretched. It was all that I knew. It is just what I accepted. Stress slanders and stress can kill. Suddenly my mom became violently ill. From here, life continued to just go further downhill. I flunked my junior year of school to help with her care. I was 15. I always thought if no one else, my mom would be there. Stroke after stroke, after the third, it left her in a coma, completely immobile. She finally awoke, only to find herself in a nursing home at 37. She still asked God why he didn't carry her on to heaven. Nothing familiar, nothing at all. I was left homeless with friends I would stray, couch after couch till I worn out my stay. I see it now how God did provide. I was adopted and got a new life. New family, new home. It was all glitter, it was all gold. A life unimagined, I was never foretold. A rebel to order, it was very pristine. At this time, I was about to turn 17. How I had desperately needed structure. My whole identity, it got a makeover. I learned from the best so many new skills. Life as it seemed was going uphill. Who was this new person I taught myself to become? I finally fit in like with everyone. Participated in school. My grades were not bad. The best part about it, I seen what it was like to get the experience of a dad. I soon discovered I was with child. I was 19, not married. I was far from proud. I still had a lot of growing up to do myself. This new little purpose began to bloom when I got to hear his fluttering heartbeat inside my womb. I never knew love till I saw his face. Suddenly life's miseries began to erase. I married his daddy and we welcomed 2 more. Our family was growing. Oh, thank you, dear Lord. Oh, the little lows we sowed. Love, laughter, happiness, it felt like a paradigm shift. Life was great until my identity was lost. Little did I know finding it would come at a cost. My past came back to haunt me with a little black bow. How would I have known it was after my soul? It read, "Open immediately, this little black gift, open in it." I was left in dismay. Emotional trauma took neatly away. All the baggage I swept under the rug. My heart was beating fast. My head lowered and I shrugged. The past I buried, I left behind. Insecurities, angers, open wounds, unforgiveness, denial, shame, regret. This small gift was packed with all I tried to forget. My hands shook. They just couldn't stay away. I was happy. I had it all. The anger inside me, it festered and spewed hateful attacks, and I wasn't through. I lashed out in anger and pushed everyone away, for these past demons found out I was actually an easy prey. They haunted me most all my nights, 20 years of torments, they wanted my life. I would scream in terror nights on end. The storms was raging, it boiled within. I was too weak to fight, destructing myself. Oh, I knew how to do damage. Trying to hide it was the hardest to manage. I succumbed to the loudness and accepted its blame. In efforts to tame it, it became me and it tarnished my name. The light inside that once shone bright had finally went out, and all I could do was cry. There was nothing left in me. The fire that burned was not for God's glory, only of that return from the other story. I no longer love my husband nor myself, not really anyone, my kids the best I could, realizing love isn't something I really ever truly understood. I pleaded with God, I begged him for mercy, and all who could reach me I looked to save me. I looked to any, I looked to all. I accepted defeat, it was my most tragic fall. My husband and children, they began to despise me, collapsing by weight due to the tragic gravity. I no longer looked to God for help. I was left with the pieces, trying to glue them back together. I was gonna do it myself. I had broken my family and everyone I knew. I held back the tears and the anger, it flew. All the pieces, they just crumbled. The glue wouldn't do. All alone in the darkness I created, everyone just watched while I was devastated. Behind my back, they snickered and joked. The demons just sneered and they would poke. It seemed they all wanted to see me drown. No one could fix me. My fist I did pound. I screamed out in agony and fell to the ground. Happiness just isn't for me. I broke. I was finally done. I just wanted it over. But God, I kept my head held down as I entered into a church where I did not want to be found. The message was clear and I knew he was near. God seen me and spoke right at me, I know, because something was shaking down really deep in my soul. I didn't arrive with any expectation. After all, I had ruined my master reputation. I wanted to run, hide, or be sick, but what God was about to do, he had to have been quick. He gave invitation. I must have complied. I could not believe it. It was to my own surprise. Next thing I knew, I was being baptized. The preacher man saw straight into my soul and told those demons from hell they had to release, they had to let go. That the grip they once had so tight, those that kept me in bondage both day and night, the ones that held so much over me, I felt the heaviness, the embodiment weight lift, felt it bleed. Every bond, chain, contract, every accusation, every sin, Jesus cleared all of them. Jesus, he saved me. He really came through. He said what he did no man could do. He said, my child, you are free, and this is my truth. I testify of my delivery. He showed me what true love is, and now my whole life is in debt to him for a price I could never repay. He said, you owe nothing. The tally was paid. Every sin I bore, I paid each one in treacherous pain. Walk upright, my child. Your slate is wiped clean. Oh, you'll love this. You'll have a new name. He said, it is done. It is finished on the cross. My blood poured out. You are forgiven. Your shame is no more. He makes all things new. He saved my mind, my brain, my heart, replaced the old one, and he pressed start. He was not through. There was damage in my marriage. He took every piece, all scattered and bruised. He joined them together. He said, you are not two. You both are one. He wiped our regret, resentments, and strife, and pressed us together, said, start a new life. He mended the pain we caused in our kids, and he told us each day we are to honor him. So each day we spend glorifying his holy name. Thank you, Jesus, for all you do. I am a living testimony that it's you who make all things new.